It's been quite a long journey for me. I think involved in rugby now since the age of 5-6 years old, playing and touching 42. It seems like I've been around for forever. Early days playing wise, started off in Wigan, St Pat's, the amateur club, and ended up being fortunate to sign for Wigan Rugby at the time, and never quite progressing through to the first team. That led then to going over to Leigh, where my brother was playing at the time. That was in about 1998, and I had a couple of fantastic years over there, but unfortunately injuries got the better of me at an early age, and by the time I was 23, 24 I had 3 shoulder operations, and the shoulder wasn't getting any better. And then during that time Ian Millward had come over to Leigh, and then done a really good job with a young group at the time, and it took us from the bottom of the league to contesting for the top 3, and then moved on to St Helens, and always kept in touch with Ian, and something I must have done as a player, I must have always stayed with him, because he just rung me up one day out of the blue and said there may be a job opportunity over at St Helens if you're interested. I know you're struggling playing wise, and you're looking at careers elsewhere, so kind of said that's something I fancy. At the time I was working in a gym, which was good, grateful for the people who offered me the opportunity, but my passion's always been rugby, and they offered me a 3-month trial, and that was in 2002, and I've been coaching full time ever since. And during that journey there at St Helens, fantastic experiences in finals and big games and big players. Then moved on to Huddersfield Giants, and again experienced some big games, and progression of the club, and moved back to St Helens, then back to Huddersfield, and then in between that time ended up over at Leigh, which I've moved and lived in the town at Leigh and kind of saw that as my hometown club, and then ended over here at Widnes and back in a big game again. It's only when you've been coaching for a number of years you kind of sit back and say, how did I actually get into coaching? And when I look back, there's probably quite a few indicators. I was always questioning and sitting with the coaches, asking on video why we're doing things, and collecting data, and always writing down the players. And then probably if I look previous to that as well, my father used to coach a football team, used to go and watch his football teams, which probably always been there in the background, and with just having the passion for the game, it just always seemed natural for me. And I'm a bit of a rugby nerd at times. Days off usually mean watching NRL in the morning, then going watching the local amateur team, and then watching Super League on TV. That's a day off from rugby for me. So yeah, it's probably something I didn't set off in the first place to do, but I've ended up doing it. I've loved every minute of it, and it's something I enjoy and got a passion for. I've been fortunate to be involved in Challenge Cup build-ups twice now at 2 different clubs, probably 2 different build-ups as well to 2 different venues. So first of all in 2004 with St Helens at Millennium Stadium against the arch rivals Wigan. It was a fantastic season that season, just building up to it, and the rivalry with Wigan was great. And it was a fantastic game, fantastic occasion, and a great result for St Helens that week. And in 2006 was slightly different, going with the Giants. We were underdogs. No one expected us to beat Leeds in the semi-final at Odsal. No one gave us a hope. We were a team of battlers. We weren't probably the best 17 players in the competition, but we were a team that turned up and they were good mates and worked hard for each other. Got to the final again against one of my old teams in St Helens, and that year they were red hot that year. The players they had in the squad, they probably had 24 players that could be first team players in any other team, and we just went there, we enjoyed the occasion, but ultimately for that day St Helens were too good for us. But I think days like that lay platforms for your club and a springboard for going forward, and certainly all the players that were involved in that day had a fantastic experience. Even though the result didn't go their way, everyone enjoyed it, and it's something people still talk about today. It's always been a dream to play at Wembley or be involved at Wembley, even from a young age. I think when you first start playing, your first book is I hope I land that year where I get to play that curtain raiser game. And I remember we just missed out for a year. It was the town teams back then, and we missed out for a year, so we didn't get the opportunity to go. But I remember as a young fan, going down with my family. We used to support Wigan when we was young with my granddad. I remember going watching the games there and always just being enthralled by the atmosphere and the people there. And I think going back for me this year, it is special, and it's probably something that that I reflect back on my granddad, and I hope he's up there proud of what I've achieved as well. The trip to Wembley it's massive, it's massive for any club, but I think for Widnes this year, everything that we've been through, it's people have seen it from the outside and said, oh, you're doing a great job and it's fantastic, and I don't know, you're getting through it, and the reality is it's been a lot tougher on the inside. The people who've been here every day, not just the players, but the people behind the staff, have been through some tough times and dark times, and you question yourself at the time, you question whether you want to stay in the sport, and there's always that at the back of your mind, is this it now, have I had enough? And it's only the support of the fans and the people around you that get you through it, and when you have those good days and people are turning up and helping save the club, it just makes you realise how important of a day it is at Wembley. And I think it'd be fantastic for everyone involved at the club, and ultimately we want to go there and win a game, but I think just to enjoy the occasion and being there, I think that's more important for everyone involved. It's massively exciting to be part of not just history of the club, but the future of the club as well. We often talk as a group, when we started off this year, it was all about doing the right thing and hopefully getting in a position to get promoted, and go as far as you can in the cups. And then with the ups and downs of the season, things changed, and then priority went to the cup, and we've got a picture on the wall in there of the World Club champions in the green kit, and one of our goals has been let's replace that picture with a picture of us in a final winning something. So it's a massive incentive for us. We've worked really hard to get there. We have to go there and enjoy it. We have to play well, to get the win. But I think just to get that forever, it's going to just be a great occasion, and absolutely fantastic for everyone. Probably a couple of weeks before that, I'd already started planting seeds. As coaches, you're always trying to think ahead. And every interview I'd done leading up to that was, yeah, we're going there as underdogs. Leigh are playing at home, they're going to be favourites, they're recruiting people, they're going all out to win the competition. So a lot of that from the outside I was trying to deflect a little bit and put some pressure back onto the Leigh team. But internally we were confident. We knew that we had it within us to go there and battle hard and fight for everything. And if we did that and we performed well as an individual and then as a group, we give ourselves the best chance of winning the game. And that day we turned up and we were absolutely fantastic. Everyone within the squad, not just the 17 who were on the team sheet, but everyone in the squad that week had a part to play in that performance. The way we trained all week, we were aggressive, we trained really intense. And I think the thing at half time really got me when we came off at half time, and the boys were all buzzing, they were talking, and no one even mentioned the score. The score was irrelevant. It was just, we've got this, boys, we've got it. Just stick at what we're doing, just tidy a couple of little areas up, keep turning up for each other and we'll get it. And that for me was the moment where it actually just clicked.
Brilliant try! And it's the man of the people, Anthony Gelling.
For the Leigh game, got Dave and Paul Human, and part of that was not just to come in and talk about big game experience and what to expect and how to prepare, but I thought more about the toughness of the game and the mental toughness. Those two guys they were two horrible brothers who played rugby and played it very, very tough. And it was no secret when we played Leigh at the Bash, they bullied us. Straight from the first carry of the kick-off, they came out with some intent. They ran over the top of us, and it took us probably 55 minutes to get back into the game that day. And by that time, the game had gone. And part of getting the young boys in was to speak about playing tough and what it means to play for Widnes and turning up for your mate at the side of you and doing the right thing. And everything that they talked about that day was everything we talked about all week. And the message again was that the game doesn't change over the years. The simple facts and the simplicity of the game doesn't change. You've got to turn up. You've got to be better than your opposition, and you've got to turn up for your mate at your side of you. And their message carried us through to the day after. And I'd just like to thank them for coming in and sharing the thoughts and wisdom and the desire with the team as well. The Leigh game was, it was fantastic. What a semi-final it was. Especially for us as a club, the way we came out the blocks and it had everything in it. There were a couple of scuffles early on. We set our tone early that we weren't going to get bullied. We didn't sit down. We went out to attack them, even though the weather was wet and very slippery. We said, listen, boys, we can't sit back here. We have to go out and attack.
Oh, good dummy! Great dummy from Craven. Now then. Van is free on this near touchline. He's gone away from it inside. Can he take the pass? He has Johnson.
He kicks it.
Kick over to the far side.
Gelling's going to catch.
And Anthony Gelling.
And he'll score.
It's not very often you coach in a game they actually enjoy it. And I know we won the game, but I've said to everyone, you know, I love the game. You know, whether part of that was going back to my old club and being involved in such an intense game and the stakes being so high. And, you know, both sets of fans were absolutely fantastic. I've said this all along, that, you know, the Leigh fans are brilliant and the Widnes fans are brilliant, and, you know, that was a high quality game. And you know, it probably shows that what standards are in the Championship. And you know, there is some big clubs in the Championship as well, and some clubs that I believe should be in Super League. And you know, if we can replicate that more as an organisation and as a league, then, you know, we'll get more people watching us and attracting it. You know, I just remember going to the sideline with about 5 minutes to go, and I pulled the fourth official to one side and said, you know what, how long's left? And he said, oh, I'm not sure, because there was no game clock at the time. So he went to someone else to find it, and then he came back and he went, right, he said, I had 3 minutes to go at that last stoppage. And I looked at my watch and I went, well, that was 8 minutes ago, the last stoppage. And he went, well, there's about 3 or 4 minutes going. No one actually knew how long was left. And you know, the people on the sideline, where you could feel people just grabbing your elbow and getting ready and living every little tackle and every little pass. And you know, when that final whistle went, the scenes were absolutely brilliant. And you know, you just saw the joy in everyone's face. I've got to give some credit to the players as well. You know, they execute the players, and you know, what I've always said to them is, and that message for that game was, we have to go out and attack and play, you know, and make sure every opportunity that presents itself, we're ready to play it, because we might only get 1 or 2 opportunities to score. And you know, ultimately as a coach, you'd like to sit there and say, yep, I absolutely nailed them 2 players on my tip sheet, and that's what I told them to play. But I think a lot of credit just comes down to the players. You know, Danny Craven reading the play, and Jordan Johnson's skill on the kick, and then the old play between Craves and Jack Owens. You know, that's something they've been doing since they were in the academy. And I suppose from my point of view is my job is just giving them enough you know, enough credit and enough confidence to pull those players off and pull the trigger and see and play what they see in front of them. But you know, I thought overall that day, you know, everyone was fantastic. That they just, you know, topped that day off for us 2 fantastic tries. You know, the celebration at the end were absolutely fantastic, and you know, they carried on into the changing rooms. And you get wins, and after every win we like to sing a song, but there's certain energy within them songs, and certain energy after certain wins, you know, when you've not played well or you've just scraped through. But that one, you know, just in the changing rooms, it was going off. The non-players were jumping in and carrying on the song, and you know, it was just a fantastic feeling for everyone. But Wembley, it is a different week, and some people talk about it just being another week. It's not, it's different. And from day one, I've said to the boys that you have to enjoy the journey, because you know, it's a fantastic experience. It's something we might never get a chance to do again. Hopefully we will. But there's always been a saying in rugby league that there's next year. Next year never comes for a lot of people. So you've got to take this opportunity this year. You've got to enjoy it. You've got a lot of distractions. You know, what's going on behind the scenes in terms of ticketing and accommodation, you know, extra press conferences, all those kind of things put extra stress on you. On top of that, then you've got to make sure you maintain the things that have got you there in the first place. So working hard, doing your extra training, make sure your diet's right, your recovery's right. And then you factor in that you've got to travel away, you've got to get, you know, stay in a different hotel. You've got time slots you can go to Wembley. So there's lots of little things that can distract you. But I think the main thing is just stay pretty chilled and relaxed, not get too hyped up too early. You know, ultimately we're going to Wembley and playing in the final. You shouldn't need any more motivation than that. And you know, my job this week is to not overcomplicate things, make things nice and simple, make sure we get enough rest as well as enough work, and make sure the boys enjoy themselves as well. I think it's an important part of it. I think, like, for a club and for me, the supporters have been, you know, superb all year. I think they've really took me to the heart. You know, I often hear them singing my song. Since day one, everyone's embraced me at the club, and you know, everyone's had good words for me. And I think everyone's probably just appreciated, you know, the honesty and hard work that I've tried to bring. You know, we've not always been at our best, and we've not always got the results, but it's never been through a lack of effort from anyone. And you know, I think that the fans have been superb, and you know, as often as I can after the game, I try and go over and thank them and spend some time, because ultimately, any club, the fans are the heartbeat of the club. You know, they're the ones that make us survive. They're the ones that keep us going. They're the ones that spur us on. And, you know, when we're feeling a bit tired on the field, or we're struggling, or we have to keep a team out. You know, when you hear that song singing and the chants going, you know, that's that extra energy. So, you know, I think, you know, just from me with the fans this year, I'd just thank you, and you know, hopefully we can thank you in the right way, which is giving you a win at Wembley. Well, to walk out at Wembley as a head coach, in any competition, I think is fantastic. And I keep saying you don't get many opportunities, and you don't in life. Some coaches and some clubs are fortunate; they get in big games every year and finals every year, and they experience it. We've not been in that situation. I've not been in it for a number of years as well. So it's something I'm extremely proud of. It's something I'm really looking forward to, and I think ultimately, the club and everyone else has been superb, but the family behind what I have at home has been superb for me. They're the ones who prop me up on the dark days, and they're the ones I go home and have a moan to. And I think it'll be a fantastic occasion for those. And particularly my two boys who will be coming along. It'll be great for them to see me lead a team out at Wembley.